Hey everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina, and today we're doing another Stampin' on Friday video. It's been a while since I've done one, so let's just get started. I'm going to be using Paper Tray Inks 2011 Birthday Tags stamp set. That's this one right here. It's got some great circle tag sentiments. And I'm going to be using this one right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Happy Birthday. And I have it all already mounted on my block, and I'm going to use Paper Tray Inks Smoky Shadow. I don't think they have this anymore because they're in the process of redoing all of their perfect match inks. But this one I thought would match the best with the project that I'm working on. I had tried a couple other gray colors, and this one seemed to be the closest I can get. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink up my stamp. Make sure I got it nice and covered. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that right in the circle. I didn't have a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, so I'm using the Limitless Layers Paper Tray ink die, and I'll show you what that looks like. So that's my stamp, and then this is the Limitless Layers. It comes in a package of 5 different dies, and I just cut these on my Cuttlebug using the Vintage Cream Paper Tray ink cardstock. But I love the different shapes they have in these. So I used the 1 3/4 inch circle, and then this die here as a layer to my sentiment. So that's that, and now I'm going to go ahead and start putting the card together. The first thing I did was I cut a couple pieces of pattern paper from, this is October, you guys all know I love October Afternoons cardstock, or pattern paper, and this is Farmhouse. Just came out not too long ago, and the papers in here are fabulous. I love probably every, there's only a couple in here that I'm not really too keen on, but I'm sure I'd find a way to use them somehow. But I love, love, love this paper pad. So I picked out 3 different patterns from this to do my card. So let me just show you what I did. The first 2 patterns I used were this striped piece right here, and then this flower piece right here. So I went ahead and cut those at 1 inch by 3 3/4 inches, and I have 3 of one pattern and 2 of the other. So when this all goes together, it'll be 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So we're going to go ahead and adhere those down, and I'm just going to use a piece of copy paper to do that. So I cut this down to be the same size, 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm going to use my ATG gun to adhere those down, and I'm just going to go ahead and put a strip right down the middle because I am going to go ahead and do some sewing on this. So I'm just going to start by layering at the bottom and working my way up. And the reason why I did copy paper is just so that I can have something kind of better as a guide, because I am going to mat this as well. So this just helps me kind of line things up better. So I'm just alternating my stripes with my floral. So that'll be my piece, and the next thing I'm going to do is adhere this down to a piece of Vintage Cream cardstock, and this is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. So this is about 1/4 of an inch bigger than this piece right here. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down, and I probably shouldn't have gone all the way around because I am going to sew this down. So normally when I'm sewing, I just do a strip right down the middle, and then my sewing machine, my stitches will hold my paper together. So I'm just going to center that right onto the cardstock, and then I would take this to my sewing machine, but I already have one ready, and that's this one right here. So that's what it looks like. And what I did was I did sewing all the way around the edges of my pattern paper, and then I sewed right on the pieces that are the striped pieces right above and below each one. And then I added some of the Paper Tray ink twine. That's this right here. I love this twine. And then a little button that matches my paper, and that is from a Cosmo Cricket button set that I had a while. It's from Salt Air. So the only thing I need to do is just add a little glue dot right to the back of my button so it doesn't wiggle around too much. So I'm just going to take a mini glue dot, put it on the end of my scissors, and just stick that right behind my button. So for my card base, I'm going to use some craft cardstock, and I'm going to cut this down. This is 8 1/2 by 11, so I'm going to cut this down at 4 1/4. So I'm going to take and just stick it right in my cutting mat here, and I'm just going to cut it right down at 4 1/4, so it's 4 1/4 by 11. So that's that piece right there. And then I want to create my score line, and I'm just going to use my score pal here. Normally I use my score buddy, but I think it got buried underneath some stuff, so I'm just going to use my score pal, and I'm going to score this at 5 1/2. So what I would do now is I'm going to go ahead and adhere this right to the front of my card. And then I'll center that right in the front here. Okay. So what I did was I took the other Limitless layer Stampin' Up! Die, and I cut that out on another piece of pattern paper from the same October Afternoon collection. And that's going to get adhered right to the middle here. And then I have my Stamp Sentiment, which will go right on the front of that. So let me just go ahead and put that together. That one I'm going to adhere right down to my pattern piece. And then I'll use some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to adhere that down to the front of my card. And that's going to go right like this. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is I have one of these EK Success layer butterfly punches, and I love these layer punches. I love EK Success punches because I like that you can store them flat, so they have the little locking mechanism on the bottom, if I can close it here. So, but anyway, this is one of the layer punches. If you're not familiar with these, they came out not too long ago, and they have these little slides right here that you can change. When the slide is above the image, that's what it's going to punch out. So there's a solid image of a butterfly, then there's an image that has just little holes that cut out on the sides, and then there's another one that has a more detailed punch. So the first one I'm going to do is, I'm not going to cut out the solid one, but I'm going to cut out the middle one. And I'm going to use the same pattern paper that I did my project with here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that one out. So you can see that's what that one looks like. And then I'm going to change my little slide here and cut out the more detailed one. Okay, so I have those two little pieces cut out. I'm going to go ahead and use my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive and just put a little bit right in the center of my butterfly. Then I'm going to take my other one and layer those two together. Okay, so I put my butterfly together, and that was just putting the adhesive right in the center, and now I have a more dimensioned butterfly. And that one is going to go right on the front of my card, right above where it says Happy Birthday. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that down. Right above my Happy Birthday sentiment. Okay, so I just adhered my butterfly down and just popped the wings up a little bit, and that's my card for today. Thanks for watching another episode, and I'll see you next time.